Nearly 40 years later, people still talk about the Diamond Jubilee of the Isle of Man TT races, 1967, and what a fabulous event it proved to be. Mike Hailwood dominated the meeting, and here we see him preparing for races by taking part in tests for the Hondas, particularly the early morning practice sessions, which are a unique feature of the Isle of Man TT. Closed public roads, practicing, testing of machines at 5 o'clock in the morning, and Hailwood sets off on yet another lap of the 37.73 mile course and is soon swooping down the fabulous Bray Hill. Taking the S-bend at Braddon and settling into his stride. And this is the Italian Giacomo Agostini with his MV Augusta machine. He's also likely to prove a threat when the races come around. And all interest from the fans is whether the Briton Mike Hailwood can beat the Italian Agostini on their Italian and Japanese machines, which are like for performance. This is Hailwood's 250, the 6-cylinder machine, and Hailwood again waiting to go out on yet another lap on the lightweight machine this time, watched by a huge interested crowd. And he reels off these laps at over 100 miles an hour with consummate ease. Down Bray Hill at 150 miles an hour, and down to the quarter bridge on roads that contained ordinary traffic only half an hour earlier. Where else in the world can this be done?
With 9 wins to his name, Mike Hailwood was expected to break the long-standing record of 10 wins held by Stanley Woods. He was also under a lot of pressure from Agostini, whose 500 machine was proving faster in practice. In 1968, Mike Hailwood reflected on the 1967 TT with Peter Arnold.
We come then to the senior.
Horrible.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst race I've ever had, you know.
From what point, Mike?
And really and truly I was well sick, you know. I didn't really expect to win. I wouldn't have won the race, actually, if he hadn't have broken his chain.
Well, until Aggo went off, of course, you were never in the lead. No.
Well, I was plagued with a bit of throttle trouble, which didn't help. The throttle kept sliding down the handlebar, which is most unnerving.
Yeah, this is when you came in, of course, at the pits and yelled for the hammer.
I thought if I splayed the end over, it would hold it on, you know, instead of which I just splayed the throttle instead of the handlebar, you know, so it didn't work at all, it just wasted time.
To counteract this, Mike, what were you having to do? What adjustments mentally and physically were you
Well, I had
having
to keep
do?
watching the handlebar as opposed to watching the road, and every time it slid to about halfway down the bar, I had to keep hoiking it up again, you know, which was making things rather tricky.
This obviously affected your confidence.
Well, yeah, confidence, concentration, everything else.
Yes.
But apart from it, I think that I would have been battling to beat him.
Would you consider this was one of your happiest moments, then, winning this to sort of clinch 3 for the second time, and also to sort of put beyond any shadow of doubt the record of 12 in the bag?
Well, this business about beating Stanley Woods' record and how many TT races you won, you know, it didn't really affect me as much as it affected everybody else.
Before every major event, Mike would always take a little time alone to contemplate and focus on the race ahead.